it may have some marketing terms on there like all natural or something like that. In reality, that means absolutely nothing. If you do see a label on it, most likely it'll say free range, which is also kind of a marketing gimmick. We don't know if this chicken is actually going outside, is getting sunshine, and eating an ancestral appropriate diet. Welcome back, everybody. Episode 6 of the Clean Kitchen Podcast. I'm Kyle.
And I'm Kevin.
And before Kevin tells us what we're going to be talking about today, don't forget about that Clean Kitchen agreement. Subscribe if you're watching on YouTube and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or a rating on Spotify. All right, Kevin, what are we talking about?
We are talking about chicken and eggs today. But more importantly, we're going to be answering a few key questions.
Okay.
First, are chicken and eggs even good for you?
Are they healthy? Yeah.
Are they healthy? Should you be having them?
Mm-hmm.
Then we're going to talk about what to look for when buying chicken and eggs, and more importantly, what to avoid. What are the huge red flags that we see in the grocery store when people are buying chicken and eggs?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to go really in depth on that. And then we got some fun current events in the nutrition world to talk about.
Okay.
I'm going to tease you a little bit. We're going to talk about cell-grown meat.
Oh, that's
What
hot
is
right
that?
now. Yeah.
It is. It's all over.
I was just reading about that the other day. Yeah.
Yep. So we're going to break it down for you guys. Okay. We got a lot to talk about today, so we're going to jump right in.
Yep.
Okay?
Let's do it.
So we're going to start with the benefits. What are the benefits of someone eating eggs or chicken?
Yeah, well, there's definitely a specific type of both egg and chicken that you should look for. We'll get into that in a minute, but I think there's a lot of benefits to eating chicken and eggs. One of them being they're both a great source of protein, rich in certain vitamins and minerals like vitamin A, vitamin E, vitamin D. But you got to be careful with vitamin D because there's one type of chicken that has a lot of vitamin D and there's one that doesn't have so much. So we'll talk about that. And then also omega-3 fats. Chicken is a good source of omega-3 fats, and also so are eggs. So not just the wild-caught salmon that's a good source of omega-3 fats, also eggs and chicken.
Yep, those omega-3 fats coming back into play here.
Yeah. It's funny. I feel like we've talked about fats and specifically omega-3 and 6 fats on this podcast, or every episode of this podcast.
I'm pretty sure we have.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Which tells you it's an important topic.
It is, absolutely. So in order to best understand chicken and eggs, I'm going to paint you a little bit of a picture.
Okay.
There are a lot of different chickens and eggs when you walk into the grocery store. Mm-hmm. But generally speaking, we can break it down into 2 categories. Chicken 1 has about 2 square feet to move, eats GMO, soy, other grains, and that chicken may or may not lay eggs.
Right.
We also have...
And they're most likely in a factory or a warehouse.
Yep.
Don't go outside.
Yes. All of those things. Mm-hmm. Then we have a separate chicken. Call him Chicken 2.
Okay.
Chicken 2 has about 108 square feet to move around with, eats bugs, also eats grains, grass, and also may or may not lay eggs.
Yeah.
So there's a lot within those 2 chickens. We're going to help you identify which one is which in the grocery store. So Kyle, tell me about Chicken 1. What does that look like in a grocery store?
Yeah, so the first chicken you described is 90% of chicken that you're going to find at the store. And sometimes it'll have a label on it, but most of the time it's just going to say chicken. And it may have some marketing terms on there like all natural or something like that. When in reality, that means absolutely nothing. But if you do see a label on it, most likely it'll say free range, which is also kind of a marketing gimmick because most conventionally raised chickens that are labeled free range, they even, similar to what you described, they can have as little as 2 square feet of outdoor space. And the USDA label requirements, they don't actually define the quality of the environment or the amount of time, if any, that the chicken is going to spend outside. So free range, kind of a marketing gimmick. It really just means that they have access to a pasture or access to the outdoors, when in reality, we don't know unless we visit the farm. We don't know if this chicken is actually going outside, is, getting sunshine and eating an ancestral appropriate diet, which is bugs, worms, grass, things like that.
Yeah.
And most, like I said, most free range chickens, they won't spend 1 minute on pasture. And generally, like you said, they're crammed into barns. They don't see the light of day. And so when you look further into the definition of free range, it really doesn't mean a whole lot.
Yeah, when we were doing research for this, I was shocked at how little the terms on the front of these packages actually mean. There's no real requirements around them. And even in line with that, a lot of them say antibiotic free. But what does that even mean?
Yeah, well, normally if you look for something that says no antibiotics ever, you should be able to trust this and assume that these chickens aren't given any antibiotics. But there was actually a new study published in the Science Journal, I guess, that found that a substantial part of, now this is cattle, not chicken, but a substantial portion of cattle that claimed to be raised without antibiotics had actually been given antibiotics. And additionally, if you do look on the package of chicken, you almost every single chicken package will say no hormones or steroids. And the reason you'll find that on every single package is because it's been illegal to give chickens hormones or steroids since the 1950s. So that's just kind of a marketing gimmick. They want you to see that, and they want you to think it's a healthier chicken, when in reality, no chicken is getting that. At least they should not be getting that.
Yeah, it feels like you're taking credit for something that's just a guarantee at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
So that is, it's absolutely crazy how much really goes into the marketing of these different chicken and eggs. And I guess we'll pause there for a second. We're grouping chicken and eggs together. Is that kind of how you view them? Are a lot of the what we should look for similar?
Yeah, definitely. They use all the same kind of terms and labeling on different packages. So yes, I'd say whatever we talk about here, if we're talking about something specific to eggs or chicken, I'd say group them together as one.
Okay. Yeah. Generally speaking, very, very similar. Obviously, coming from the same spot.
Yes.
So good to make that comparison there. But there's also within the chicken category, there's different breeds of chicken that we see, and those could have different impacts on our health and nutritional value associated with them. What are the types of breeds of chicken that you see?
Yeah, so this was something I learned probably about a year ago when I was really looking deep into pasture-raised chicken, and I found that most chickens that we find at the grocery store are called Cornish cross chickens. This is the type of breed of chicken that they are. And why do most people why do most farmers grow this chicken? Because they're cheaper to raise. They grow extremely fast, so the farmers spend a lot less time on food and resources, and they're extremely inexpensive to buy, and they can grow up to 8 pounds, which is a little bit heavier than your average chicken. What's the problem with this breed? Well, this specific breed of chicken, they can develop a lot of different health issues, leg troubles. A lot of them develop heart disease. There's just a lot of problems. But one of the main reasons they develop leg problems and they kind of have trouble just standing up and walking around is because they're extremely overweight because of the diet that they're eating. And the fact that usually if a farmer is using this breed of chicken, then it's going to be in a warehouse or a factory and isn't even going outside or able to roam.
Yeah.
So.
That part is wild to me, because I think, at least when I think it, I would say most people, if they're going to the grocery store and they're getting chicken, they're like, yep, I'm eating healthy. I'm getting chicken. Not even looking at specific time. I would always just go and get a big pack of chicken breast or chicken thighs.
Right.
And I'd go home feeling good that I chose a healthy option.
Yeah.
But it turns out that might not be the case.
Yeah. We've always been told chicken is healthier than really anything. That's like the supreme protein choice, and it's healthier than beef or maybe even fish. But I think we'll get into a little bit why that may not be the case.
Yeah. It was definitely my assumption going into this, and I think what we'll find out is that might be proven wrong here. Yep.
So that's back to the breed. That's the main type of breed that you find in the grocery store. The specific type of chicken that I buy is pasture-raised chicken, and that breed of chicken is in an entirely different type of breed. It's called Pioneer Heirloom breed, and these birds are much healthier. They don't have all of those health problems that I mentioned earlier. They're much more active, and they have access to a pasture, so they're able to run around and play with their chicken friends and do all the good chicken stuff. And like I said, they're under the sun, so these are also more nutritious, but they also taste better. You can taste the difference. So this type of chicken, which I kind of already said, pasture-raised chicken. That's what we want to look for. That was chicken 2.
Yeah.
The one that has 108 square feet per chicken of outdoor space to roam. So these pasture-raised birds, they are much more nutrient dense. They're even higher in these omega-3 fats, higher in vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, antioxidants. And like I said, they're so much more flavorful. They're tender. They're juicy. You can taste the difference.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time I ever had truly pasture-raised chicken. I was like, wow, this tastes so much better.
Yeah, you could really tell when you had the two that one was pasture raised, one was not.
For sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. But I think most people, when they go to the grocery store and they see those two options, one is a lot more expensive than the other, the pasture raised, because of exactly what you said.
Yeah.
There's a lot more of work that goes into it.
Yeah. Also, like, unfortunately, there's not a lot of stores that even have pasture-raised chicken. And most of them you have to order online.
Yeah.
I know Trader Joe's used to have pasture-raised chicken. I haven't seen it there recently, maybe in some states. Sprouts does have pasture-raised chicken. I've seen it there. Whole Foods, they sometimes do. Depends on the Whole Foods. I've seen one that does have it. I've also seen one that doesn't. So, unfortunately, it is difficult to find. But the good news is that I think it's becoming more popular because there's more demand for it.
Yeah.
And that's where this all kind of starts. It's like the more demand that companies and farmers see for pasture-raised chicken, the more the more supply that there will be.
Yeah.
And it'll be able to get into more grocery stores.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell your local grocery stores that you want more pasture-raised chicken options out there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're interested in. And hopefully we can see that. But as far as the cost, going back to that for a second, basically what you said, though, is there's so many more benefits to that pasture-raised chicken that if you look at it on a nutritional level, how much you're getting per dollar, you're actually getting way more nutrition per dollar if you spend the money on the pasture-raised chicken than if you just go buy the standard chicken that you see in the grocery store.
Exactly. Yeah. And you could also argue there that, hey, you can save money on your vitamins or your multivitamins because you're getting it from your chicken.
Yep.
That where you really weren't getting a whole lot from that cage free or free range chicken.
Yep. Exactly. And I guess within the chicken space too, another term that I keep hearing that I don't understand is regenerative farming. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me exactly what that means?
Regenerative farming is a term that has gotten thrown around a lot recently. And it's something that I've actually talked about on my Instagram a lot because more companies and farms are adopting this practice. So regenerative farming is a method of farming that, simply put, it works with nature instead of against it. So the goal of regenerative farming is to improve the health of the soil and the biodiversity of the land rather than just kind of growing as many crops as you possibly can. Mm-hmm. So I heard this analogy the other day, and I think it's a really good one for those that don't fully understand what this term means. So imagine a farm is like a giant bank account. So with traditional farming, we're constantly withdrawing, aka harvesting crops, but we're not depositing much back. So over time, this is going to leave the land or our bank account poorer and poorer. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So in regenerative farming, so that's like the classic way of farming. That's monocrop, where they grow acres and acres of corn and soy and wheat, which are three of the most prevalent crops grown in the U.S. They're just every time they're just destroying the soil more and more, and our foods are becoming less and less nutrient dense. And this is kind of a topic for another day, but they're also, a lot of people don't know, they're also killing thousands of animals, of insects, birds, bees, all of these things. So not good, not a good thing. So regenerative farming, on the other hand, they do things like plant diverse crops. So not just one kind of crop, but more than one. They practice rotational grazing. So they're moving animals around so they don't overgraze in one area. And they're also, one of the most important things, they're reducing the use of harmful chemicals like pesticides and herbicides that are sprayed on these monocrops, like I just mentioned. And actually, when I went to, I was very fortunate enough to go to California, Bakersfield, California, where I toured an almond farm. Shout out to Simple Mills for inviting me to that. But Simple Mills, Capello's, and Daily Harvest were the 3 brands working with this specific farm in California, this almond farm, or almond orchard is the correct term. And when I went there, they were kind of in the process of transitioning a lot of their conventional almond orchards to organic ones and ones that practice regenerative farming. And you could see the difference. When you looked at the conventional ones, it was basically just dirt. You see trees, but then it's just dirt on the ground. And then with the organic regenerative farming apple orchards, they were there was grass everywhere. It was green. It was bright. They had sheep that were mowing the grass for them, like I just talked about. And it was just really, really cool to see the difference because, I talk about it all the time, but it was really cool to just get out there and see the difference.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot there on the regenerative farming topic, but maybe a one-line takeaway is really it's about giving back more than just taking. So you're depositing to the earth more than just taking from it. And I think it reminded me, too, of the discussion we had around grass-fed beef, where those cows are naturally mowing or eating the grass there. And they're also giving back to the earth by making these holes in the ground where water can go. So it's all cyclical.
Yes. Yeah, and if you haven't listened to that milk episode, definitely give that a listen. Yeah. Ultimate Guide to Milk. We go in depth in there.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, and getting back to kind of what you were saying, like those practices that I just mentioned that are involved in regenerative agriculture, like you said, it enriches the soil. It encourages biodiversity because, they're planting a variety of plants. And then also a lot of the times they'll bring in animals like this farm in California did. They'll bring in animals like sheep or cows or other type of animals to mow the grass for them. And it just improves the health of the environment. And I'm happy to see that more and more companies and farmers are practicing this nowadays.
Yep. A win-win for everyone.
Definitely.
Yeah. And I was watching a video, too, on this rotational farming that they do. And I watched one on chickens where they had a little hen house and they were allowed to roam around free. They were pasture-raised chickens. But they actually talked about moving 3 times a week is how often they moved, which I was blown away by how frequent it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. Speaking of pasture-raised chicken, when I'm looking at those labels and one says pasture-raised and one says cage-free, what's the actual difference? What is a requirement of being a pasture-raised chicken?
Yeah, so pasture-raised chicken, they have a lot of requirements. One is that they're raised outdoors and they have to have daily access to a pasture from 4 weeks of age. Like we talked about, they have to have a minimum of 108 square feet of outdoor space per bird. I think when I talk about this, some people don't fully wrap their head around that. They may think it's just, 108 square feet total, but no, 108 square feet per bird.
Yeah, most people that live in New York don't have that much per person.
Exactly. Exactly. So they got a lot of space, and most of the time they have even more space than that, which is fantastic. They have to have a pasture maintained with a minimum of 50% vegetative cover with shade and enrichment so they can really do whatever they want. They have the option to go wherever they want, kind of.
But what about their diet? What are they eating?
Yeah, so pasture-raised chickens are going to be eating grass, bugs, worms, and less of the corn and soy. A lot of pasture-raised chicken, they do still supplement with corn and soy. It is possible to find corn and soy-free chicken. Very difficult and most likely even more expensive. But just due to their more natural and ancestral appropriate diet of grass, bugs, and worms, it's really going to, like I kind of talked about earlier, affect the nutritional profile of the chicken, and they're going to have much more omega-3 fats. Now, if you want to find corn and soy-free chicken, then try to find one where the chicken is supplemented with something like fish meal or sunflower meal, because those tend to be higher in omega-3s. And some people are also just very sensitive to corn and soy. So if the chicken's eating it and then we eat the chicken, it can cause reactions or flare-ups. Or I know a lot of people with histamine problems can't necessarily eat chickens that have eaten corn and soy.
So unlike maybe cage-free or free range, there's actually requirements
Mm-hmm.
for a company to put pasture raised on their chicken or their eggs. And I think that part is really important. It's not just a marketing gimmick there. And I think that maybe there's even studies that found that there are better omega-3 ratios within those pasture-raised chicken.
Yeah, there was one. I mean, there's been multiple studies about this, and everyone will vary because it depends how much corn and soy or grains that a specific bird is eating. So the more grains, the more corn and soy that they're eating, the more omega-6 that they're going to have. The less of that, the more omega-3, and the better the omega-6 to omega-3 ratio. But one study came back and said that the omega-6 to 3 ratio was about 5.6 to 1, which is very good. The average conventionally raised chicken can be anywhere from 14 to 1 or 20 to 1. And like we've talked about in previous episodes, we're already consuming way too much omega-6 fats, specifically from these vegetable oils. So we do want to minimize that where we can, which is why I think pasture-raised chicken is the best.
Is the best. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
Pasture-raised chicken. That's one of the takeaways from this is we are looking for that pasture-raised because of so many benefits, but one of them being that omega-3.
And I will just one caveat really quickly. Free range, yes, for the most part, I say free range is a marketing gimmick. I say there are a small amount of family farms or local farms that only have the free range requirement when their practices are closer to pasture raised. So I don't want to say free range is totally garbage, but I'd say with the big corporations, yeah, it most likely is. But with the smaller local family farms, free range can be okay.
Okay. So it's worth checking that out.
Yeah.
And you might be able to even find it on their websites, how they feed their chickens and how much room they have.
Yeah, and reach out to them. Ask them if they're going outside. Ask them what they're eating every day. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I like that. So then maybe one more follow-up note on chicken. Some people's favorite type of chicken is rotisserie chicken. It's easy. You grab it off the shelf. You can use it in a variety of ways. What kind of chicken is rotisserie chicken?
Yeah, rotisserie chicken is convenient, isn't it?
Very convenient.
Yeah.
Hot baked date.
What?
Hot baked date.
Hot baked date?
Hot baked date.
Hot baked what?
8 pieces of chicken.
Oh, hot baked 8. What is that? Harris Teeter?
Yeah, Harris Teeter.
Oh, okay.
Shout out Harris Teeter.
No, we don't shout out Harris Teeter. No, I'm just kidding.
Like that.
So most rotisserie chicken is one coming from conventional factory farm chickens, and two, they're most likely filled with a bunch of added preservatives, emulsifiers, natural flavors, and sometimes they even add sugar in there. So no, I don't recommend rotisserie chicken. There are a few stores, I know, like Whole Foods, for example, their rotisserie chicken is just chicken, salt, and pepper, but it's not the highest quality chicken. Now, confession, I have bought Whole Foods rotisserie chicken before when I was traveling and I had nothing else to eat, so I got it. So like, if you need something quick, if you're in a pinch, yeah, absolutely get it, but it's not like a common occurrence that I would recommend just because it's not the highest quality.
Yep. Yeah, try if you can and get that pasture-raised chicken and cook it yourself. Takes a little bit extra time, but you get that nutritional benefit from the pasture-raised as compared to a rotisserie chicken, which can be more convenient as part of just cooking.
Yeah, and I know the Costco rotisserie chicken is probably the most popular one because I've heard it tastes good. I haven't had one in years, but also the price. I think it's like $5 or $4.99.
It's a steal.
Yeah. But unfortunately, it contains just about all of those additives that I just mentioned. So Costco chicken is one of the Costco rotisserie chicken is one of the worst out there.
That's disappointing. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry,
Costco. Okay. So in thinking about chicken more broadly, a lot of times people are debating chicken or beef, whether that's at a restaurant or just at home, which one they should cook. When I'm thinking about that, what should I be looking for? What should I even be thinking about when I'm deciding between chicken and beef?
Yeah, so great question. Before we kind of get into the details, we have to think about how are these specific animals digesting the food that they're given? So chickens are monogastric animals. And what that means is that they have one stomach. And just like humans, we have one stomach. So they are unable to convert polyunsaturated fats like corn and soy to other types of fats. Okay. Cows are ruminants, meaning they have a specialized stomach with 4 different compartments. So when cows eat grass, which are also polyunsaturated fats, they are able to convert that grass into saturated fat. So it's kind of an amazing thing with cattle and cows that they're able to take something that isn't so good for humans, but they take that and convert that into a better fat for us. So that's one of the main reasons why, in my opinion, beef is better than chicken.
Yeah, it's amazing that their stomachs are built in such a different way that allow us to process the food that they create differently. And I guess is it bad to get chicken?
I wouldn't say it's bad. It is, like we mentioned, a lot higher in those omega-6 fats compared to really any type of beef. Even if you get non-grass-fed beef, the omega-6 to 3 ratio is going to be better than definitely conventionally raised chicken, but maybe even some pasture-raised chicken.
Yep. And then I guess in your own life, I know you prefer beef.
Yeah.
But if you had to put a percentage on it between when you have beef versus chicken, what would you say? Is it like 90-10? Is it 100-0?
Oh, man. It's probably 95-5.
95-5.
95% of the time I'm eating beef.
So chicken is rare in your diet.
Yeah. It is. One, just like nutritionally speaking, I know that beef is more nutritious. It has less of the omega-6 fats, but also it has a lot more vitamin B12 and other vitamins and minerals. Yeah. So one, I know that it's more nutritious, but also two, I just enjoy the taste of beef better.
Yeah.
Like I have it for almost every meal, and I've probably been doing that the past year or so, and I haven't gotten sick of it.
Yeah.
Knock on wood.
That's amazing. And I think one thing too, at least in my opinion, the difference is how full you feel after. You can have the same amount of both chicken and beef, and I'll feel way more full after I have a pound of beef versus a pound of chicken.
Why?
More satiating.
Why?
Omega-3s.
You're getting there. One more.
Omega-3 and omega-3 fats. Omega-3 fat. Fat
Beef,
is filling.
Generally speaking, beef contains more fat.
Yep.
Because chicken is a lot leaner, so it contains less fat. And like you said, fat is satiating.
Yep.
So
I can definitely tell a difference between those two.
And that's another reason why I prefer beef over chicken. I'm not like saying chicken is bad. That's just what I prefer. Some people can't digest beef. Beef just works really well with my body. I enjoy the taste. It's better nutritionally speaking, and it fills me up.
Yep. For reference, I'd probably say it's pretty close to 50-50.
For you?
For me.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So I eat a lot of chicken.
Yeah, and that's perfectly fine. I'm not.
Chicken.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Also, I think beef is just easier to cook too.
Yeah. It feels like there's less risk. I feel like if you undercook chicken, it's scary.
Yeah.
Not so as much with beef.
Yeah. It's funny. I was just talking to my sister Kristen about this the other day. She was like, I'm so scared to cook chicken because I don't want to undercook it. And she's right, because you got to cook it to at least 165, where beef, it's not really the case.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, you just eyeball it.
Yeah. Close enough.
Yeah. So
okay.
That's another reason I like beef better.
Yep.
Easier and quicker to cook.
Yep. So we talked a lot about chicken, but a lot of this, as we said, applies to eggs.
Yes.
Is there anything else that we did not mention about chicken that would be different for eggs?
Yeah. Generally speaking, it's going to be the same for both, but eggs are kind of looking at the benefits of eggs in general. They're a great source of protein. They contain, similar to chicken, they contain all 9 essential amino acids, where plant-based protein does not contain all 9 essential amino acids. Eggs are also a great source of dietary cholesterol. People think eggs are bad because they contain cholesterol, but every single cell in our body is made of cholesterol, and even your brain is 20 to 30% cholesterol. So the cholesterol in eggs is good. And If you look on social media, a lot of people will say that eggs are nature's vitamin. Quick correction there. I meant to say nature's multivitamin, not nature's vitamin. Because of the nutrients that they contain: selenium, phosphorus, vitamin B12, vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and so many more. So there's a lot of benefits to eggs.
Okay. How do you like your eggs cooked?
I'll do them scrambled or just crack it, throw it in a pan.
Yep. Nice and easy.
Yeah.
Nothing too crazy.
Nothing too crazy. Some people do raw eggs or
No
raw
way.
egg yolks.
Like
Drink it.
Is that
Like-
good for you? Better for you?
The nutrients may be a little bit more bioavailable and intact if you're not cooking it.
Yeah.
I would assume. But I know some people that just will take the egg yolk, put it in a cup, like take like 3 or 4 or something.
No
and just
way.
drink it. Yeah.
That doesn't sound
Never
too
done
appetizing.
that. We gotta do some taste tests.
We
might have
do.
to try that.
Yeah, maybe next time we'll do a taste test. What about like a hard-boiled egg?
Yeah.
Same-
Great.
So no matter how you cook it, you're not losing value from it. Okay.
No. Yeah. Whatever you like best, go for it.
All right. I like it. And then we will leave a couple links down in the description below. We found a couple valuable resources here. One is called the Cornucopia Institute, which actually ranks all organic eggs on a rating from 1 to 5, and it tells you where the farm is and their score. So a helpful resource for you is that's one. And then there's another resource called eatwild.com, which really breaks down by state your local farms. So if you click on the link, it'll take you to a map of the United States, and then you can click on your specific state and really understand what local farms are near you. So there might be better options for you out there that are local compared to what's just in your grocery store.
I love it.
All right.
That's awesome.
Perfect. So we got those resources.
Also, I did want to mention one other thing about pasture-raised eggs versus other types of eggs.
Yeah.
A lot of people message me about this on Instagram, and it's a good point. If you look at the egg yolk of pasture-raised eggs, you're going to notice it's a lot darker orange, more of like an orange color than as opposed to like a pale yellow color that you find in, your average egg. And the reason for this is because it contains more carotenoids, which are basically naturally occurring pigments that are found in plants, and it gives it that dark orange yolk, and it has a lot of health benefits. So it's a good thing, and I'd say that's one of the ways that you can kind of tell how that chicken ate and kind of grew up.
Yeah, it's really obvious to see when you see them next to each other how different the yellow is. On first glance, if you're looking at it by itself, it's not too obvious, but wow, is there a difference?
Side by side, yeah.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yep, definitely worth it. Let's get into some news.
Okay.
Some current events. So the first piece of news that we have is from a company called Hot Shot. And the reason we want to talk about this is it's actually being used by a lot of the players in the Women's World Cup, which is going on right now. And I initially saw this, and the first video I saw, it was a woman lying on the ground, looked like she just had a cramp.
Yeah.
And this doctor team trainer comes
Medical,
over.
person,
And he gives her a little bottle of something, and she drinks it. And it looks like she just been shot. And then she's back up and running. And I'm like, what is this?
I saw that video.
Yeah, it's wild.
I was dying.
Yeah.
I was like, what is that?
What is happening? So we had to go deeper on this.
Yeah.
We had to understand what the heck is this Hot Shot.
Yeah.
And so for background, what Hot Shot does, according to their own website here, is when you have muscle cramps or you feel soreness, you take this shot and it starts to work by triggering the sensory nerves located in your mouth and esophagus. And those stimulated nerves then send a calming signal to your spinal cord. When that signal hits the muscles, it tells it to stop cramping.
Huh.
I was like, what? Well, what does that mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
That feels crazy.
Yeah, I don't
Above our pay grade.
Yeah, that is.
The science of it. But what we can do...
Is that healthy? Like, is that...
It doesn't sound healthy.
Yeah,
but
it doesn't.
we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know. So we won't make a judgment call on that. What we will focus on is the ingredients.
Okay.
So fortunately, Hot Shot
that I can do.
puts out the ingredients of what is exactly in this little shot. It really does look like a shot that you take. Okay, so Kyle, tell us about the ingredients.
Yeah. So what do we got here? We got filtered water, organic cane sugar. Do we know how much added cane sugar there is?
Let's take a look. Yeah,
I'll
get that.
It's the second ingredient, so I'm gonna guess it's a little bit higher, but it's also like a shot, so I wouldn't think it's too much.
Sugars, it says 6 grams.
Okay, so 6 grams of organic cane sugar is that one? I assume that's one serving
That's one
size.
shot. Yep.
Okay. And then the videos that I watched, it didn't look like they were taking the entire thing. Do you know if they were?
I think they are. Yeah,
They
I think
are.
you
Okay.
take one.
It looked like they were taking a sip.
It's not much. It is a sip.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 6 grams of organic cane sugar, not the worst. Organic lime juice concentrate, organic gum, Arabic. I don't know exactly how to pronounce that, but it's a gum. Not great, but not the end of the world. Sea salt, pectin, stevia for sweetness, like that. Natural flavors, okay, that's going to be a given. Organic cassia oil, don't know what that is. Organic ginger extract, that's definitely going to give us some spice. And then, this was the ingredient I read about. Organic capsicum extract, which I think is like red pepper.
Chili peppers.
So
yeah, that's the spice.
I assume the spice, the way that these soccer players have been freaking out from this drink, I guess that's what's doing it to them.
Yeah,
but
it is. It's crazy. If you haven't seen a video yet, I definitely recommend watching it. And if you're watching the World Cup and you see this happen, tell your friends and family you know about Hot Shot.
If you see it happen live.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we get into this cell-grown meat, just wanted to remind you guys, if you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or a rating on Spotify.
We appreciate it. Okay, so cell-grown meat, I had no idea what it was, but I keep seeing it now pop up. And the reason is because it was actually just approved by U.S. regulators to allow companies to sell chicken made from animal cells. So, Kyle, tell me what you know about cell-grown meat.
Well, I first heard about this probably maybe like 6 or 7 months ago. I first heard about this term, and I honestly thought it was fake. I did not think it was a real thing. Yeah. And now here we are 6-7 months later, and it's been approved. And the first time I saw that it was approved, I also was like, is this real? Unfortunately, it is real. And in my opinion, I've read about it. I've watched the videos. I've read some articles about it. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not a fan of it. I'd rather you just buy real chicken. I guess that's the first thing that's come out. It's chicken and eventually probably beef.
Yeah.
I'd rather you just buy real pasture-raised chicken or real 100% grass-fed beef that's even regeneratively raised. I think their main argument or marketing for this product is that it's better for the environment and it's stopping animal cruelty. When, yes, I mean, no one wants animal cruelty, but there was a study from UC Davis that came out. Again, UC Davis, popular college that does a lot of great studies. They showed that the environmental impact of this lab-grown meat may actually be much, much, much worse than regular cattle or regular farming practices.
Yep. It's crazy. I'm just going to read a small excerpt from an AP News article.
Yeah.
And it says, quote, cultivated meat is grown in steel tanks using cells that come from a living animal, a fertilized egg, or a special bank of stored cells. It comes out in large sheets that are then formed into shapes like chicken cutlets and sausages. That's just wild.
It's scary.
When you think about that, none of that sounds appetizing, good, happy. I don't know.
We keep messing with nature. Like the more things are processed, I don't know the exact nutritional profile of this thing, of whatever this is, but I can't imagine it's healthy. Yeah. And it's just this is just sad in my opinion. Yeah. And I really hope consumers don't get fooled into thinking that this is a healthier, better for the environment, and I guess stopping animal cruelty. And like also the way that these are grown, I read something that it's similar to cancer cells because cancer cells like duplicate and then they just keep growing and growing and growing, and they're doing this in a similar fashion. So just that alone, I don't like the sound of that. But yeah, I'll stick to the real chicken.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. If you think back to a few years ago, the Impossible meats were all the rave. Everyone wanted it. And a few years now have passed and not many people are interested in them. So I'm curious if this will follow the same trajectory or if this is different.
I hope so.
Yep.
And also, like, at first I was thinking, oh, is this going to be good for like the vegans and vegetarians that don't want to eat the meat, but
Yeah.
it has chicken
Yeah.
in it. So it's not vegan or vegetarian.
No.
Yeah. So, but I think that's going to be it for episode 6 of the Clean Kitchen podcast. Be sure to tune in next week for episode 7.
Thanks.